very important documentation that is needed in order to start your flight. Today we want to create a flight plan. Let's go and see how we create a flight plan. Continuing with the onboard documentation that we need to bring for a flight, lesson, a solo flight, or any other flight, leaving in this case from a controlled aerodrome like Sabadell, Lima Echo, Lima. One of the things we need is an ATS approved flight plan, an air traffic service approved flight plan. In this case, it will be approved by one of the ATOS, which is the actual department that is going to approve our flight plan, leaving in this case from Sabadell. Let's go back to the Icaro 21 application that you know from ENAIRE, and in this case, once we are in the main page, we're going to go to the menu here on the left, and you see it says FP creation, flight plan creation. Now, once you get flight plan creation, you have four options. You have change, cancel, delay, or flight plan, and the acronyms are the one that you see here on the left in kind of a orange color. Now, today we want to create a flight plan. Let's go and see how we create a flight plan. Creating a flight plan, we go to FP creation and we go to FPL for flight plan, and this page here is what is going to appear in your screen. Up here it says what the time is, so UTC actual date is the 13th of January 2023 and the time is 15:20 local time, and in this case 14:20 almost Zulu time. So let's create a flight plan for a twin engine flight today from Lima Echo, Lima to Lima Echo Golf Echo in Girona. So the first thing, we'll confirm on the top the date today, 13th of January 2023. The type of message is a flight plan. We're not cancelling, we're not delaying, or we're not changing. And the first thing is the aircraft identification. Each point here has a number, and so point 7 is the aircraft identification. Today, the first flight of the day is going to be AESA 1 Mike 1 for number. It's the first flight. The second one will be 2, the third one will be 3. As an example, we're going to put AESA 1 Mike. Why Mike? Because today we're flying aircraft Echo Charlie Mike November Golf, also called Mango, and in the flight school the actual identification is AES, which is Echo Alpha X-Ray 1 Mike. Flight rules today are going to be visual. You have instrument rules, visual rules, or others. And then the type of flight today, the type of flight will be X, which is a flight school flight. You have a generic flight, you have different actual acronyms, and in this case today we're going to be X-ray, which is a school flight. Now, how many aircraft are we today? It's going to be only one aircraft, and the type of aircraft is a P06 Tango, which is the ICAO 4-letter 4 alphanumeric identification for the TECNAM P2006. Next to this type, you have a magnifying glass here. If you go on top, it says help, and here you have all the codes that you can use. For example, if you're flying an A320, the code is A320. If you're flying a Boeing 777-300, the code is Bravo 773. And the same applies for every aircraft, Cessna, Pipers. And in this case, we look for the TECNAM. TECNAM is again the P06 Tango. Now, what wake turbulence category is the TECNAM P2006? It's a light wake turbulence category. Now, next thing, equipment. The equipment that we're going to use today is Sierra Yankee Delta Foxtrot Lima Oscar, and you'll say, what is this? What are all these? What do all these stand for? Well, again, if you go to the magnifying glass on the right side here, you will see a very nice combination of values that explains exactly what each acronym means. So, for example, Yankee, it means that you have VHF with 8.33 kilohertz channel spacing capability. Delta means that the navigation, we have DME, which is a distance measuring equipment. Foxtrot means we have an ADF for NDBs. Lima means ILS, and Oscar means BOR. So you'll have to see what your aircraft has, and then you'll have to choose what you can put here. Once you have this, we're going to actually go ahead and give the type of transponder that we have. In this case, it's Sierra mode. Now, what does Sierra mode mean? It means that it includes both pressure altitude and aircraft identification capabilities. So in this case, Sierra is what we're going to use for our aircraft today. Going back down to the actual flight data, we're going to go to departure data, and we're going to put our departure aerodrome, which is Sabadell, Lima Echo, Lima Lima, and we're going to go ahead and see what our actual off-block time will be. The estimated off-block time in this case. Okay. Now the estimated off-block time for today's flight that we did, this is just an example, is 0815, and this is going to be Zulu time. So you see, if I put 0815, it doesn't actually let me put in, because the time now is 2:30 Zulu time. So let's put, say, 1500 Zulu time. The destination today is going to be Lima Echo Golf Echo, which is Girona, and the estimated time en route is going to be 1 hour and 30 minutes. So that's what I'm going to put here. Estimated en route time 01:30 minutes. What are my alternate aerodromes? Well, that's something I can choose. In this case, my alternate aerodromes are going to be Reus and Lleida. So Lima Echo Romeo Sierra and Lima Echo Delta Alpha are going to be the ones that I put here. If you go to the magnifying glass, you can also see, look for different identifications of different aerodromes. Moving down to the routes. Now, this is very interesting for IFR routes, but also for BFR routes. The cruising level today will be BFR, so we'll be going up and down, basically climbing and descending. The cruising speed for this aircraft is going to be 120 knots. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to put in November. 120 knots is the airspeed, or the indicated airspeed for our, the cruising speed for our aircraft. So we're going to put November 0120 as cruising speed. If you had a IFR route, you would put your waypoints here. It's a Lima Echo Lima Lima VOR, different waypoints from RNAV or IFR flights. Good. And then the last part, which is 18 and 19, those are other information and supplementary information. So for other information, you can put registration, operator, navigation, remarks. You can put any kind of information here. What we always put is remarks. In this case, for the one that we did this afternoon, the remark was, this was a flight school. The student is Oscar Mateos with ID, blah, 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 my telephone. And then the flight instructor in this case, for example, was Vanessa Monferrer with ID, blah, 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 on her telephone as well. We've also put the registration, Echo Charlie, Mike November Golf. The operator, which is EAS BCN, so we can put here operator EAS BCN. We're going to put the registration here again, Echo Charlie, Mike November Golf, which is very important. If you put the registration, or let's say the actual registration of the aircraft in the identification, it's not so important, but our identification is AEDEAS 1 Mike, so we need to put our registration. Operator again is EAS, and then we put remarks, so Oscar Mateos and Viladot, and whatever other information. Okay, this is just an example. Last information is the supplementary information. What are we going to put here? So if we have an emergency radio, what do we have? We have Echo emergency radio, survival equipment. Do we have life vests, life jackets, etc.? Persons on board, how many persons? 2 people. Jackets, do we have any jackets on board? In terms of life vests or life jackets. Endurance, how many hours do we have of fuel on board? In this case, it's 5 hours with the TECNAM P2006. The pilot in command today, very interesting. Who is the pilot in command? So for the flight, in this case, it's my instructor, not me. I'm actual student flying, so it's going to be dual time for me. So pilot in command is going to be Vanessa Monferrer. Finishing up, so Vanessa Monferrer is the pilot in command. Color of aircraft, white and blue, as you see here. And useful remarks, we can put any other data that is needed. I normally put my telephone number. And if there's anything that is needed, it is for me. And then you press accept. I'm not going to press it now because we're not going to use this. The one that we've used is this one here. And that's it. Once you accept it, you're going to wait for the ARO to actually approve it, and you're ready to fly.